Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is many a true nerd, and welcome to Train Yard Builder, which is a game with a very unusual name, which is, you might assume, from the name Train Yard Builder, you are like building and managing a train yard. But no, this game is about like a train set, you know, model trains. So, you know, train set builder, model train builder, both of those would make a lot of sense, but is this maybe like an Americanism? Do you guys call like a train set a train yard? Because, no, seriously, why you call Train Yard Builder? That's really weird. But okay, let's not worry about that. The point is, today I want to play with a train set because I've always found train sets, like, deeply delightful. When I was a kid, if there was ever like a train set exhibition happening nearby, I always wanted to go and see it. I just found, you know, giant dioramas with little trains chugging around them to be deeply, deeply lovely. So, okay, today I'm gonna build the train set of my dreams, and what I like about this game is there's lots of different ways you could do that. So where I am right now is basically the basement, which is broadly the campaign mode. I've got, like, you know, finite money, I've got to figure out what I do and don't spend it on, etc, etc. Basically, you try and build little dioramas, you enter them into train set competitions, you earn prize money, you build bigger dioramas, etc, etc. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I've never actually, like, you know, entered a train set contest myself, but I'm suspicious this game might be being somewhat optimistic with how much money there is in the competitive train set scene. Like, whatever's going on in this universe, the guy who owns the train set museum, that man is loaded because he's willing to pay me over $1,000 to put together a small diorama. So yeah, I could just do that at the little diorama station over here inside of my basement. Or if I'm, like, you know, looking for some inspiration or something, I could just mosey over to the museum, where there are just beautiful, gigantic dioramas for you to examine. But yes, what I really love is the game's got a real sense of physical space. So, you know, you build down here in the basement, that's where you get stuff ready. Then you go upstairs and construct your own gigantic dioramas up here in the living room, because apparently my entire house has just been given over to the noble and highly lucrative career of a competitive train set builder. But yes, today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mosey upstairs, because in the attic, all laws of economics are suspended. So now we're in sandbox mode and I can buy and build whatever I want, and I feel like, you know, that's kind of the entire point and joy of a train set game. So, right, let's dive in and build a gigantic train diorama. And yeah, you can kind of like choose tables that have already been pre-themed to some degree, but no, let's start with plain single tables. I'm going to do all the theming myself, because I feel like, you know, that's kind of the point. So we'll just, like, you know, put down one of you right here, then another one adjacent to you. So we'll start with just a 2x1 for now, then, like, you know, we'll build up over time. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, yeah, obviously, we need to start off with, say, a train yard of some description. The game's called Train Yard Builder, we better have a train yard. The trains need somewhere to live, damn it. Then, we go into, like, you know, some sort of a more built-up area. I'd say city, but I feel like, you know, when you're building a train set, there's supposed to be, like, you know, charming rural vibes. So maybe mid-sized market town might be more appropriate. And maybe in the long run, looping round to something else around here. That strikes me as a good start. And much as what happens in, I assume, a real train set building, we're not always going to have, like, you know, a custom-made building that fits my exact purposes. I'm going to, like, you know, slightly improvise, dress and paint things accordingly so it suits my purposes. So this is just technically a work shed. It's not supposed to be a train depot, but I'm going to use it as a train depot. So we're going to put down, like, you know, a couple of them right now. We can pull it off and, like, redecorate it down the line if that's what we want to do. So say 3 of them next to each other. Okay, so that's going to be where the trains live overnight or whatnot. Oh, and absolutely spot on. There's, yeah, a nice handful of a track right here. There's 3 going into 1. So, okay. For the time being, what we should probably do is, yeah, just have a basic layout. We'll build style. We can change everything as we go. Okay, I'm rapidly learning about the limitations of and how you need to build train sets, which is I was kind of hoping, you know, we could have everyone coming in this direction. We'd have one looper coming around here, one spur going off to, you know, the next table round the corner, etc, etc. Then obviously we would have, you know, this coming off here, so trains would go on the longer journey round the ultimate eventual, you know, wider path and whatnot. They could make their way back, but it turns out, yeah, there are real limitations in train sets as to how tight you can make the corners. Let's say with train sets. I feel like that's a limitation for trains too. Now I think about it, yes, trains really can't, like, you know, turn 90 degrees that aggressively. They do need, like, nice, slower, long turns and whatnot. That is true. So, okay, what we'll do is, yeah, turn this into, like, a feature. This weird kind of, like, a branching, snaking path. We'll make it into something interesting. Like, say, yeah, this is the very shortest piece, I think, right here. Just put a couple of little ones here to maybe halfway across. That's going to be, like, you know, an emergency buffer stop something or another. We're going to do something with this anyway. So, right, what I'm going to do now is, yeah, like, build out a city a little bit around this. So, okay, go over to the brush here. Because obviously, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a city going on around this bit of the world. This is, I think, where, yeah, the main station's going to be. Right along here. So, okay, give me, yeah, urban pavement and make it nice and smooth here. We'll just move this along here in this direction. We might, like, you know, tidy it up a bit as we go. And we can also, okay, we can create hills as well. So, okay, there's a bit of city stuff going on in the centre, but it could still be hilly and foresty around the outskirts. In fact, yeah, the train should definitely sleep in a nice foresty bit. Obviously, we grow trees around it to, like, muffle the noise of the trains being got working in the morning. So, you know, it doesn't wake people up while they're in their houses, which are going to be over here in, like, you know, the big urban area. There we go, that's nice. Maybe blend in, yeah, some eucalyptus. That's kind of nice too. Let's put a little bit of that dotted around here. Lovely. Maybe, like, you know, a little bit of a variance of height. Maybe a bit of water and whatnot. This is all going to, like, you know, evolve over time. Absolutely. So, right, I can have trees on slopes, but I'm not allowed to have the tracks on slopes. Those have to be, like, perfectly flat and whatnot. Gotcha. In fact, you know what? This area here that's probably not being used for much. Let's just raise this up a little bit and, like, have a little gap in the center right here, because then all of a sudden, water is something we could paint too. So, okay, not much water, like, you know, very small brush size here. We just want to put some water in the center of this, like, old dormant volcano or something. Let's just pop that in there, and then, yeah, we can even change the water flow. So, this water shouldn't flow, because it's, like, you know, inside a bloody mountain. So that's absolutely fine as it is. Good, it could just be, you know, fairly static. Maybe just slightly raise the edges of this here mountain to create a better sense of, yeah, crater. Lovely. And yeah, when we get to the top, actually, you know what? We'll fill in the water in a second. Yeah, just a little bit of frayed mountain rock. Just so it's, like, you know, a little bit on the, yeah, blended side to the grass down below. Now, just top up the water in here. And okay, now we're starting to get somewhere. That's a nice little feature. Okay, I started putting the station together here, but what I've realised is, yes, what I should do first, of course, is get the basic layout of the city down. So, that means, yeah, picking a road style. The roads are pretty big, so, yeah, there's, like, you know, dirt roads, grass paths. There's roads without pavements, but that just feels like a nightmare. Like, roads need pavements, we need pedestrians, damn it. I'm guessing everything's going to be, like, you know, to scale on these roads, right? Yes, that feels about appropriate for cars and whatnot. So, okay. We definitely need to go for B, and potentially we might need to, like, you know, maybe build out some bridges and whatnot so the roads can get over the train tracks. Okay, I've got a road layout, which I could do a few things with. I'm just going to, yeah, paint the inside of the road layout for now in, yeah, lovely, urban, sprawly colours. No, yeah, what we'll do then is just go for a smaller brush and tidy up the outside, because, yeah, beyond the track, we're back into, like, you know, countryside. That shouldn't be city anymore. So, yeah, the track's going to be the dividing line between the different types of, yeah, like, grounds. Though I think what we should do is, yeah, not just have all of this be nothing but urban. We could have a lovely mowed grass at various points too. So say this here, this should be... I was about to say a park. It's a bit of a sad park, really, isn't it? Like, possibly I've gone for excessively large roads for that to be a nice park. Okay, I've done what I can to make it, like, you know, a bit more desirable. I've kind of fenced off the straight bits. There's no, like, curved fence, unfortunately. I've added, like, you know, benches, picnic tables, a nice fountain, bit of shade. It's not the best park in the world, but, like, you know, it's a nice oasis for the people who live in this probably incredibly tiny town, who could just, like, you know, go out into the open countryside that's literally right there. Okay, I was starting to worry I've maybe left too much space for the urban area, but no. As it turns out, some of the models are incredibly large. Right, hang on, slight redesign. Okay, now this is a bit more promising. And it even comes with a slight park extension. Beautiful. Okay, I've just spent a lot of time dressing the town, like just these first two little areas, and it did just strike me. I kind of forgot about the whole train thing. That's kind of, you know, fairly important when it comes to train sets. So, right, I'm gonna, like, set up a train right now. Oh, you know what? It's gonna be a super fancy train. The Kawasami 5000, whatever that is precisely. Though it does need to be, hang about, the right colour, obviously. I do kind of love, by the way, how when you paint the trains, and basically anything actually, you can do this like anything in the diorama, there are so many different parts that you could really bloody personalise this right down to the ground. Like, say, this random corner tenement building. If I want to, I can just say, hey, actually, all of the windows in this thing are red, which does rather, you know, recontextualise what might be going on inside aforementioned business. Anyway, that's a lovely hot pink sexy train here, so, right, over to the controller. So, okay, select any train you've got going. Obviously, you can have as many trains as you want floating around. Okay. I'm gonna say it's speed 7. You could just start doing the rounds, buddy, though. Are you gonna go the right way? Or are you going to, like, immediately crash or something? Because, like, there's a lot of ways you could, in theory, go. So it's possible you're about to make terrible decisions. Truly awful decisions right there. Okay, select a switch it goes past. And then just, yeah, change how it operates. So, okay. Number 3, I want you to be going, yeah, to the left. That's fine. 4, 1, 2, and 6 are now set, right? Hang on, I already set you. Yeah, you're going as you should do. So, right, that should now work. And now, you should just do a lovely, lovely loop. Right, honestly, that's a bit too fast. Like, I feel like 7 was just fine. Like, 7 was doing the job, but A-okay. Though, okay, that's like, you know, the passenger train for all the lovely sexy people who have come to, like, you know, see the theme park and whatnot. But, you know, there's clearly industrial stuff around here too. As I say, we'll introduce the town properly in a second. So we need a proper train for that as well. So, lovely coal train set up there. Set them both to 7. So, you set off first, my friend. And then, yeah, when your friend is halfway round, you're also set to 7. So, given you'll be going at the same speed... Right, we've now got 2 trains doing the loop, and given, yes, they should just be staying at the same speed and going on the same route, they should never meet up. Beautiful. So, okay, now we've got some, like, trains in my train set. Sorry, got distracted doing, like, you know, just decorating and whatnot. So, say hello to my lovely, lovely town. So, as you can see, we've set up a beautiful entertainment district over on this side of town. So, you know, there's a beautiful library. We've got, that's a burger joint right there. So it's like, you know, food in this kind of, you know, theme parky carnival-y area. There is a circus right there. There's plenty of seating. There is a small, lovely fountain right there. Obviously, you know, the pièce de résistance of the entire town. There is a gigantic Ferris wheel. Arguably too gigantic, given the number of people living in this town. Yeah, basically, you know, they could probably all fit in this thing at the exact same time. Like, we may have overdone it on the Ferris wheel. and I do like you can literally set water flow direction, which makes no sense for a trade set, but I still find it very pleasing. So yeah, we've got like, you know, nice river here, lots of heather, etc, etc. Then we mosey into, yeah, the centre of town. We have got, you know, the red light district right here, we've got various tenement blocks, etc, etc. Now I did enjoy, by the way, yes, this really, really tiny church just slotting in between these various buildings, because that's very London. Like, you will see in central London all over the place really tiny ancient churches with vastly bigger buildings on all sides, because, you know, the church stays put even as everything else gets built up around it. So, you know, that's felt kind of nice and London-y to me. So, you know, we've got some big high-rise accommodation, some old-style tenement blocks, etc, etc, together with a lovely market for all these people to, like, you know, go and hang out in, shop at, etc, etc. So, you know, there's lots of good stuff here. And that beautiful, lovely park here as well. So, you know, things are good here. Things are very, very good. As you can see, huge library, lovely theme park. Now, you may be asking, how can such a small town with such a tiny population possibly afford this basically decorative rail system and all of these beautiful giant public amenities? So, that's, you know, arguably something that we don't talk about in this town very often. But, you know, if we absolutely must, it's probably due to, yes, this lovely area of town over here, the industrial heartland, where basically, yes, all of the money gets made. It's beautiful, though, you know, it doesn't always go entirely desperately to plan. Like, conditions are not perfect in many ways. So if you just like zoom in a tiny bit here, you can see we've had to, like, you know, fence off the entire area to prevent both intruders and also escapes in a way. So, you know, right here at the front gate, you can see a couple of security officers with their guard bears. There were dogs, unfortunately. So yeah, we had to use bears, but in all fairness, I feel like, you know, that gets the point across a little bit better anyway. And then we've got the children, who are, like, very cheap and whatnot. That's why we use children in the factories, who, as you can see, are sort of rioting at the moment. But yeah, the security have lined up. They're going to put that down, no trouble whatsoever. I mean, I think some of the children know this. Like, you know, some of them are despondently sitting on the ground. Some of them are wandering off with their heads down already. Like, I think they know they're not going to win this riot. Like, the handful are here, cheering, etc, etc. They're going to be dealt with very, very harshly indeed. Like, you know, here's one person trying to escape on a bicycle right now. The bear's going to get him. Private security has already arrived to sort all this nonsense out right here. I mean, I understand why the children are, you know, rebelling right now. This is where they live, inside these trailers that are around the side over here. And then if we just bring the camera around, yeah, that's why some of them aren't rebelling. They know what happens if you do. And once you're done with that, what I did was, yeah, I put like a little pickup truck right here, just to indicate what, theoretically, the factory owners might do with the children that misbehave, okay? There's probably a fair few tiny, tiny skeletons dotted around this bit of the world right here. So, you know, that's what pays for the town. And given the size of the Ferris wheel, I think we can all agree this is a worthy sacrifice that is being made, because that is one hell of a big Ferris wheel right there. This took me several hours, by the way. I was originally planning to, like, you know, completely fill out this entire carpet. That's maybe not going to happen so much. So actually, you know what? We can take potentially a couple of shortcuts. Here we go. I can literally create some charming countryside right here. So yeah, some tables come, like, you know, pre-set up a little bit. So yeah, if you want to, you can immediately have a huge amount of just a base work. Though, obviously, yes, some of it will need some blending to actually fit together properly. But in all fairness, yes, aggressive application of the smoothing function can actually bring things together nice and quickly. Though, possibly the water doesn't really make a huge amount of sense anymore. But yeah, as you can see over here, it's really not too difficult to blend stuff together pretty quickly. So there we go. I've just tossed together a tiny bit of desert, extended the track, built some lovely bridges over water, which actually needs to, because, you know, it's not really water, it's supposed to be painted on, just by the fact it's, like, flowing, so, okay, it's, like, kind of water anyway. Yes, I've, like, you know, set up a tiny desert area, and also a little Wild West town down here, with its own tiny little herd of cows, getting maybe a bit dangerously nearby to the railway there, and some deer just, you know, drinking from this possibly oversized oasis, nearby to... hang on. Not sure about the oasis, but that cactus is definitely too big relative to a deer. Like, there may be some slight issues with scale here, I'm not sure. Oh, I just realised a way I could make this worse, by the way. There we go, I've just made sure there's, like, you know, some happy, not enslaved playing children in the background in the park, within clear visual range of the rebelling children, so they can literally see what other children who don't work in the factories get to do. Oh, this is perfection right here. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, that there is Trainyard Builder, and, okay, this is pretty much precisely what I wanted it to be and what I wanted to play today. Okay, it's just a trade set game that gives you a huge amount of options in terms of the number of models available, how you can paint and redecorate them, loads you can do with, you know, the landscape, the foliage, painting on water, etc, etc, just, yeah. This here is lovely. It's not going to change the world, it's not going to be my game of the year. But you know, for the right person on the right day in the right mood, this is just a lovely way to spend a few hours. You can't say fairer than that, so link in the description below, well worth a look-see I'd say, and who knows, in future, maybe one day, I will be in the mood to, you know, do a bit more chilled out trade set building. And if I am, maybe, just maybe, we'll see this in a live stream in future. We shall flipping see. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Trainyard Builder. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
I've created a small problem in my road system, which is, it's literally impossible for anyone to ever go back into town. And this building shall be where we produce our zebras. And this much taller building next door is naturally where we produce the giraffes. Does anyone remember how the road system went? I think it was something like this.